Hello, and welcome to the second Regiments demo, a game that's a mix of road and conflict and war game, to put it nice and easily. This is the second demo, like I mentioned, which I've had for this game. The last run was last year during a Steam demo event, but you can now try it out again during this year's demo event, and it's definitely a bit of a glow up compared to last time. The menu's nicer, the gameplay, the atmosphere, just everything. They've done a really bloody good job. But instead of just looking at the bloody main menu screen, let's actually play a match. So we're just going to do a skirmish match. Essentially how the factions work is right now you got for NATO, Americans and West Germany, and for Red 4 you have Russian, Soviet Union, and East Germany. You pretty much have a pick right now only between two regiments slash brigades per side. Essentially one infantry style one and one armored style one. For this one, we're going to be playing infantry because I like playing infantry focused rail factions. And we're going to be doing a mobile defense game mode, which I'll explain once we get into it. So let's jump right in. And here we go. So this is a very interesting game mode. Essentially, we have two transport trucks, and they have pretty much like his command point score with them. There's multiple sectors on this map, as we can see. We have to move the transport trucks into the sectors. You then evac the troops inside. Pretty much it fills up a point, and you have to bring it back to your home base. While this is going on, you have to defend the enemy as they are attacking you from multiple angles, and we got a few friendly units stationed nearby. So this is definitely a pretty damn good map for our sort of brigade, as we have a lot of infantry, and that's a pretty nice defensible town in the center. So we're gonna get pretty much all our infantry units over here. You have two Luke's reconnaissance platoons, which by God we're going to exploit, because just like in war game, recon is definitely important. And let's get a Leopard to 1A5 over here. We're going to tell one transport truck to go to the left spawn, one to the right, and we're going to bring our supply trucks, which are essentially like a mobile FOB, nearer to the town. And away they go. If you haven't seen this game before, it's actually really easy to control. There's really not much finicking about that you have to do. It's just point, click. It's not a whole lot of micro. You're not having to really do all that much, which is quite nice. You can clearly see all your units at the bottom of the screen here, which makes it very easy to select which units that you actually want to be using. Everything's all organised in platoons, unlike in Steel Division or War Game, where you can split things up into smaller formations, but it's quite nice and easy of how it is set up. Fortunately for us, our two starting evac points are pretty close to our spawn. These will eventually move as the match progresses, and we have 13 minutes to essentially fill this bar up to, I believe, like 800 points worth of evacuees. Tell our Lukes to hold fire, because we want them to spot, not shoot, unless things get rather dire. But Leopard 284 HQ should definitely help out in this left-hand flank. Just like in Steel Division, HQ units like leaders and the Finaniora perform a bit better. And get our other Leopard 185 to hold the right-hand flank. And pretty quiet. Oh, here we go. We got our first contacts. In terms of infantry and vehicles, it is stupid easy. You just press unload, and then they just unload. It's not a separate unit. They just stay with the vehicles, essentially. It's treated as one unit. So when the infantry do unload, they move a bit slower, but they have better firepower. We do have, yeah, quite a bit of armor over here. On to the call and off-map strike, which is just like Rod and Conflicts. You get off-map strikes, which you use points to blow things up, including airstrikes as well. Ace Leopard 185 should come around a bit sooner. Oh no, we already have some up here, so let's actually move them into an offensive position to deal with these T-55s, because our Panzer Grenadiers are not having a good time at all. They do have ATGMs, which is pretty decent. And we're going to get a mortar platoon. I believe some of our transports are good to go, so we are going to call them back. It's pretty much just going to be a rinse repeat of moving these transports. As you see, Epsilon is now up for grabs. These guys are getting hammered, so we are going to retreat. And they should fall back to the supply point here. And then, just like in Wargame, you can actually resupply and revive dead units. Like, it's definitely a little bit more simplistic, of course, compared to Steel Division or Wargame. Definitely has that Road and Conflict vibes, but honestly I don't think that's a bad thing. It makes it very easy to micro a whole bunch of units. Oh, now we got a new task force. The one thing I really like about this game is that there's no deck building. I don't believe there will be any sort of deck building or whatnot. Instead, you kind of build your deck on the fly. So we have multiple task forces which we can call in for different sorts of reinforcements. Now, we already have a good amount of infantry, so I want to get some helicopters. I believe it is a decent... There we go. Decent helicopter task force, as well as some extra infantry, just cause. These leopards are starting to get hammered here. Falling back into a defensive position. BMP-3s, which are quite nasty. Also with infantry, if you keep like still for like 30 seconds or so, they become emplaced. It's pretty impressive how they can dig foxholes through, well, a road, but you know, that's just secret German technology, right? Yeah. These BMPs are starting to move up. I don't like them, so we're gonna call in cluster artillery. Let's move back at Leopard. Marder's already good to go, so we're gonna bring them back to the front line. And we should have, well, we don't have enough points yet to get that helicopter. Oh, I need to be moving my transport to actually play the bloody objective. Okay, Delta is going to be a little bit dicey here, considering how close to the front it is. And same thing with Epsilon. Oh, did I lose Leopard? Oh, no, that's still alive. We do have some... Oh, Hind. This game also does have a line of sight tool. It's a little bit different, as it just draws a line out essentially. It's kind of like how you would do it in Wargame, where you would fire on the ground, but you didn't really fire on the ground. You were just doing it to see whether you could shoot over the air or not. Maybe I shouldn't be moving my Leopard 185 into potential... I don't believe he's... I think these guys have ATGMs. No. They're just the recon runs, just like in Wargame. I don't think they have reconnaissance optics, but they do have rockets, and... rockets are still rather nasty. These guys are getting suppressed, which... not very nice. The Gepards should finish off these helicopters. Especially compared to the last demo, the game actually looks pretty damn good. Like, unit models are definitely like comparable to Wargame's unit models. Frankly, a little bit better, but it's been quite a few years between Wargame and this. The maps are quite nice. Like, I always like... it's like a East Germany like map aesthetic, like from European Escalation, just these bright green fields and rather flat land. Nice thing about flat land is Makes it very easy to navigate about. You don't have to be mucking about with hills. And let's unload you guys here. And dig up a defensive position. There we go. So this point is getting artillery to hell and back. Which isn't very nice. Get our Leopard 185s over here to deal with that. Oh, we have a bunch of points floating. Let's get those helicopters. We're gonna call the supply trucks back. Just do a fast move order. A lot of the controls are pretty similar. You have the fast move, you have the unload. You have your face direction, retreat buttons, all of that. These guys are almost completely filled up. And now you want to get out of here before you get killed completely. I believe there's some nasty guys over here. Oh, we also have the mortar APCs, which we haven't used. I might have a chance to use them in a minute. Got helicopters over here. Oh, we can call in a new task force. I've completely missed it. I hope you guys weren't screaming that screen at home. Let's get some Leopard 2A4s. I like the sound of that. We'll see if this game will devolve into a super heavy tank meta, just like in War Game. Those T-64s aren't having a good time. I believe that was like the AI who called in an artillery strike. Let's move our Lukes over here to do a bit of reconnaissance. You have long range where you can just sit back and relax and blow them up. Let's actually move our Leopards over. Deal with this new threat. It's a very interesting game mode because you're having to keep juggling around these supply trucks, keeping them alive, and we do have a very good defensive position. That's why the enemy isn't being able to break through. We just have them on medium AI. I have found AI to be pretty decent at this game. I was playing a few matches before where I was defending this town, and the AI would go all the way around the far flank and like hit me right in the reek underbelly here. I wasn't really expecting that. I thought it does keep hitting right into the town. But apparently not. They do have some sort of brains. So some of my Leopards, yeah, have vetted up. So it is just like in Rolling Conflict, where if you keep your units alive, very worthwhile. Even though you can eventually buy them back, it's not the worst thing if they die. But the extra veterancy bonuses from having the units which don't die is pretty nice. You would have thought. Of course, yes, it's a gamey mechanic. I don't believe you gain what amount to a few months to years worth of combat experience in just 10 minutes, but it's a video game. And this game definitely errs more towards the gameplay aspect rather than realism, which honestly I think is great. Like, this isn't a bulk down game. It's very easy to pick up and play. There's not a whole lot of controls you have to memorize or fight around with. Like War Game or Steel Division, where you have a bunch of RID micro tricks which you have to exploit. There's not really any of that. You just move units around and focus more about positioning rather than trying to throw smoke grenades quickly. Oh, these guys... Oh, you didn't... Oh, no, I did it of complete evacuation. It was just pretty damn fast. So, I'm not seeing many enemy forces. I feel like I want to send my Lukes out to try and probe them. Not in the alien variety. Here we go. And in our... I say attack helicopters, but I think that's a little bit too much. And yeah, see? Look, the enemy went for a big flank around. My infantry isn't here. I'm gonna have to divert my Leopard 2A1, 2A4s, and 1A5s to deal with this massive assault on my flank. And oh my god, my supply trucks, or transport trucks, should probably leave that location. Like, right now. Let's just cluster that entire place. Leopard 2A4 will definitely be able to deal with them. We can get a new task force. What do you want? We got decent armor, we got decent helicopters. Don't feel like we need any more infantry. Wouldn't like some anti-air and some like heavy artillery would be quite nice actually. I would call in like an artillery squad. It's not anti-air, but I'll live with it. I want to use the Lars too. It's a pretty fun unit. There we go. Cluster munitions really do screw people over. I do notice sometimes the game does get a little bit laggy. So you're in like a lot of explosions are going on. I know we're doing another push over here with some pretty decent armor. And my Panzer Grenadiers are the only ones holding. Yeah, let's get out of here. Oh, my recon died. I think because I moved him up. And yep, see, they're doing a flank over here. Things are starting to ramp up a little bit. We're gonna need to divert one of these Leopard 1A5s over here. Getting a little bit close here to the infantry there. They can start throwing RPGs in our face. And oh. Do I have a Gepard? I do have the Gepard. Gepard needs a killer Mi-8. Isn't super scary to our tanks, but I don't want them hurting our tanks. I'd like our tanks to stay alive, thank you very much. There we go. We can probably now actually redirect this Leopard. Another Leopard over here. It's starting to run low on ammunition. They're holding pretty well because they are in place, and let me tell you, once they get dug in, it can be a huge pain in the ass to rout them out. Oh, helicopters, please leave me alone. We do have that Lars 2 up and running now. I have this mortar which I haven't been using. That Lars should just bombard the hell out of this area right now. Actually, no, we need to bombard here. Things are actually starting to ramp up quite a bit, holy crap. They've almost run. But I definitely noticed with this one that things do ramp up. And they're actually starting to get quite a lot of armor now. Where's my transport trucks? Okay, here they are. We got a pretty easy point to capture, yeah. And we can probably capture Delta. Okay, runner rate. Nope. They're dead. That's gonna be a lot of letters I'm gonna have to write home. And those laboratory fours are not having a good day. Where's my helicopters? There's my helicopters. You are needed surely at the front line. Also really need some more recon. Or I have my recon over here, but... Oh. Like, can I... Oh, right. These guys... They do have autocannons. There we go. I was about to say. It's like some spawn camping shenanigans, right? Yeah. Oh no, Gepard, I didn't mean to move you up so close. The Lars is almost reloaded. T-64 is starting to get suppressed, yeah, and they're gonna be forced to run away. Because, you know, getting shot at by a rocket barrage isn't entirely fun. Who would have thought? Helicopters are almost out of ammunition, they're gonna fall back. We have quite a lot of these points, which I haven't been using. I definitely could have been playing this one a little bit better. Hopefully this lost some munitions and my mortar firing off. There we go. Oh, our transport truck is all ready to go. And, oh, we have run the match, it seems. Lovely jubbly, and there we go. So, just like in Wargame or Steel Division, you get a nice KD of who killed Rod and Ren. Nice. Definitely killed a lot of them, which is good. That's very good indeed. That's pretty much the Regiments demo. Currently, I believe the game, unfortunately, is only going to be single player, but the AI is pretty decent. Now it's only on medium. I think if I was to ramp it up to hard, there'd definitely be a lot more angry Russians and East Germans coming towards me. But this is an RTS game I've personally been looking forward to for quite a bit, just because it's so bloody slick. It's just easy to pick up and play, as no fighting with the controls, it's fun, it has just enough tactical depth for it to still be rather interesting without going overboard in the realism department. The game is still currently in the demo stage. If you're watching this video, that's a few days after it came out, and it is a demo, so you might as well download it and give it a shot if you are interested, as the only thing you can really waste is your time, and well, if you're watching my videos, you probably have quite a bit of time to waste. And, well, I'm gonna leave it off at that. This has been another Regiments demo, really, considering this is the second video I've done of it. And as usual, please just take it easy.